Hey, what's up, guys? Alex here. Hope you all are doing well. So it's been about 2 to 3 months since I've last done a discussing transit video, and I thought for this one, why don't we take a look at current transit connections at Toronto Pearson International Airport, as well as future connections, and my own ideas to improve transit at the airport. Now, um, like in my past videos, I have decided to create another PowerPoint presentation. So it feels like I'm back in high school. And no, it's not perfect. I didn't really want to add a lot of uh, fancy designs in it, but I try my best. Don't judge me for my creativity. But I've been studying the connections for quite a while now, and obviously there's a lot of things that are wrong with the lack of proper transit to the airport. So that's kind of why I wanted to properly look at it and discuss how we could improve it. Pearson Airport is the largest airport in Canada and one of the busiest in North America. And located at just 20 kilometers northwest of downtown Toronto, it saw about 47 million passengers in 2025, and it's also a primary global hub for Air Canada and a hub for Porter Airlines, WestJet, Air Transat, and Flair Airlines. It's also operated by the Greater Toronto Airports Authority. However, like I said, it's been criticized for not having a direct subway or light rail. The only true real connection we have is the Up Express train, which we'll get to in a few minutes. But for now, let's get into the current routes. So, like I said, I've been studying the connections for quite some time now. I've also done videos showing how to get from Pearson Airport to downtown Toronto using a variety of ways, including buses, subways, and the aforementioned express train. So, as I'm looking here, we have, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, well, seven bus routes that go to the airport. So we have the first of all the 52A Lawrence West bus. It's a local daytime bus that runs pretty much all day, every day. It serves Lawrence West and Lawrence stations, both on the Line 1 subway. Also in the same row, we have the 952 Lawrence West Express bus. It serves the same destinations, except it only runs during the peak periods. So from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., and then from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. And it typically takes more than an hour, depending on traffic, to get from Lawrence or Lawrence West Station to the airport. Not to mention the 52A is quite infrequent. It's about every 15 to 20 minutes. I've always had bad luck with the 52A personally. It's not really the best way to get to the airport unless you live in the corridor, but whatever. Moving on, we're going to an overnight bus now, the 300A Bloor Danforth night bus. This runs from both airport terminals to downtown Toronto, as well as various destinations along Bloor Street West, Danforth Avenue, then ending things off at Danforth and Warden and in Scarborough. Obviously, this is a night bus, so it only operates from 1:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. on Sundays. Of course, runs when the subway isn't operating. And then we got the 334A Eglinton night bus. Of course, this cuts through Midtown Toronto. Uh, again, from both terminals to Kennedy Station. Um, and then the 352 Lawrence West night bus. Um, again, also overnight bus service, except it's on Lawrence Avenue. And it goes all the way to Sunnybrook Hospital. And then back to the daytime bus routes. Now we got the express buses. So we got the 900 Airport Express bus, and it runs from, of course, and it runs to and from Kipling Station on the Line 2 subway, and runs all day, every day. And it typically takes around 17 to 20 minutes to get to the airport. The thing is, though, the bus does run along Highway 427, which makes it for a fast ride. But the many times it has to stop for passengers. Well, actually, it does stop at two stops before hitting up terminals 1 and 3. Last time I took the express bus, it wasn't really the best. It took like a little over 20 minutes, even though there wasn't that much traffic on the 427. But that's like the cheapest way to get to the airport from downtown, at least. And then there's the 906 Airport Humber College Express bus. And this is a bit weird because it doesn't actually serve both terminals. It only serves Viscount Station, which is just east of the airport. Well, it's still on the airport lands. It's just right next to the employment areas, and it's basically it's right next to a parking lot, and that could be accessed using the terminal link train. So this bus route serves Humber College Station on the Line 6 LRT and Humberwood Loop. And just like the 900, it runs all day, every day, but only serving Viscount Station. And yes, the S is silent. Growing up, I thought it was called Viscount Station. And of course, you guys are probably familiar with the Up Express, the Union Pearson Express train, which is the only rail connection from from downtown Toronto to the airport. While it is a bit pricey, comes at 12.35, regular ticket, or I think it's $9 with a Presto card. But it takes 28 minutes. It's actually the most stress-free and comfortable way to travel, um, at least, right? Because obviously it's pretty much the fastest way to get to the airport. And of course, it runs every day at all times except overnight. It does make 3 intermediate stops at Weston, Mount Dennis, and Bloor Station. Um, Weston, of course, Weston and Mount Dennis and Bloor, they both connect to the Kitchener GO train line. Weston, of course, Weston connects to local TTC buses. Mount Dennis, same thing as well, but also to the Line 5 LRT and Bloor Station to the Line 2 subway as well, although they are still working on a direct connection to the Dundas West Station so that people don't have to make the excruciating 5 minute walk, especially in inclement weather when it's very cold or very hot. So, and Go Transit buses, which is actually Toronto's commuter slash regional buses that serve pretty much almost all of the GTA suburbs. But there's only two routes though, and they only stop at Terminal One. We got the 40 Hamilton Richmond Hill bus. Its destinations are Hamilton Center, Square One Terminal, Dixie Transitway, Brantford Transitway Station, Humber College, Highway 47 Station on Line 1, Richmond Hill Terminal, and Unionville Station. It's a 24-hour bus service which connects to Lines 1 and 6, and the Go Lakeshore West, Richmond Hill, and Stouffville lines. And next up, we got the 94 Pickering Mississauga bus, and it begins at Square One, makes stops at Dixie Transitway, Brantford Transitway Station, Yorkdale Terminal, Shepherd Young Station, Scarborough Center Terminal, and finally Pickering Station. So, like the 90, it's also a 24-hour service, although I think it's hourly if I'm not mistaken. It connects to the Lines 1 and 4 subway and the Lakeshore East line. There used to be Route 34 connecting from Finch Terminal and Yorkdale Terminal, but that was discontinued in 2023 and was replaced with an adjusted Route 94. But if you live anywhere in the GTA suburbs, it could definitely help. And next, we have the Brampton and Mississauga Transit. I combined both in one. We'll start with the Mississauga Transit buses. So we got the 7 Airport bus, which stops at Westwood Terminal, Ranford Station. It's a local bus service running pretty much all day, every day, and then finally down to City Center Terminal. We can connect to many other buses as well, and and only stops at Terminal 1. Next up, we got the 24 Northwest bus, which runs from Westward Terminal to Ranford Station. It's a rush hour service bus, only stopping at Viscount. Next, we got the 107 Malton Express, which runs daily except Sunday, and stopping at Viscount. Its destinations are Humber College Terminal, Westward Terminal, most of the transitway stations, and City Center Terminal. And then to Brampton Transit, we only have two routes. We got the 115 Airport Express bus, which stops at Bramalea GO Station and Bramalea Bus Terminal. So it's all day express service to Brampton running every day. And finally, the 505 Bovaird bus, which runs, I think, every day too, and also all day. Uh, Makes important stops at Trinity Common Bus Terminal and Mount Pleasant GO Station. So those are those are all the local transit connections. I didn't make a slide for the coach buses as well, but I believe Megabus, Coach Canada, and Flixbus also stop there. They provide service to long-term destinations, including Hamilton, Niagara Falls, Oshawa, not Oshawa, but I think Kingston as well. I think they could really add a bus to like north of the GTA, maybe to Ottawa as well. But there's also other long-term bus services that go to different parts of the province, including Windsor, London, Cornwall, Michigan, New York. Just really depends on where you're coming from. Now here's the main problem with Transit to YYZ, as I've said. There's a Even though there's the Up Express, there isn't a single rapid transit connection, although there have been many talks to extend, the lines 5 and 6 LRTs, which by the way I disagree with. Line 5 is currently being extended to Renfrew Station, which is not far from the airport. You just have to make a forced transfer to the bus. And I think a study is I don't think it's being conducted yet, but there are proposals to extend Line 5 to the airport, but let's be honest, I don't think that's going to be happening within the next 20 years. So essentially, if a transit is lackluster, it just relies on the Up Express, which only uses diesel trains and it's not electrified. I think there are plans to eventually electrify, but should have been electrified from the start. And sometimes, even though the train's on time and it's fast, it does suffer from slow infrastructure. It's a little bit weird at times. It's also poorly integrated. The bus services are fragmented. They also require longer walks, multiple transfers, and exposure to some of the elements outside. So like when you take the bus directly to terminals 1 or 3, you sometimes have to like take multiple escalators or I think one elevator to get to the departures or arrival sections. And it's also obviously the airport being that's in Mississauga, the airport land is dedicated to parking and road infrastructure instead of high density development or efficient transit hubs. So this brings us to our next slide. This is the Pearson Transit Center. I remember when it was being proposed in 2017, but not much has been made on development. But it's being proposed by the Greater Toronto Airport Authority, the GTAA, and it's to handle the future rapid transit connections like the Lines 5 and 6 extensions. Like I said, I disagree with that. I think a possible spur of the Kitchener line and extending the Mississauga Transitway because it only goes as far as Renthorpe Station, so they could really add more dedicated bus lanes to the airport. It's likely to be built at the existing Viscount Station, which is close to the employment areas, and it will be an important intermodal transit hub, very similar to Union Station. It's also going to feature a mixed-use development with retail and commercial spaces. Um, One thing I forgot to add something there, but I can't remember. Oh yeah, and also yeah, now I remember the terminal link train, which will link the transit hub at Viscount to both terminals. Again, no information has been made on this unless I'm missing something. Let me know in the comments down below. Now, this brings me to my own ideas. I know a lot of people have ambitious ideas like to extend like the Shepherd subway line to the airport. Same thing with lines 5 and 6, which again I don't really agree with. You know, extend GO train service, but why do that when we already have the Up Express train? So my first proposal is to build the new transit hub, except I do things differently. I made a separate video talking about possibly building an Etobicoke-like metro line. Now, this would be very similar to the REM in Montreal. If you want to see that video, leaving the link in the description below or the top right corner. This would probably replace part of well, actually most of the 900 Airport Express, because obviously it's fast and frequent rapid transit. I have a map of it. I'll show you in a little bit. Um, I would build the underground station just at Viscount, and then I would relocate all transit bus routes, so TTC, My Way, Brampton Transit, GO Transit buses, and coach buses to the new terminal. Up Express would remain unchanged, so it will still be at Terminal 1. Just gotta take the Terminal Link train. However, like I said, I wouldn't extend lines 5 and 6. Line 6 already has a bad reputation for its very slow speeds. Um, I think the Etobicoke Light Metro would make up for it. And of course, the downside is to make the forced transfer to the link train and also having to take a longer escalator, elevator, just making the walking times a little bit long. Second proposal is just to maybe partially leave it the way it is. All buses continue to directly serve Terminal 1. The thing is, though, it's the comfort of taking like a bus or train directly to Terminal 1, and then you'll be able to access either the arrival or departure section. But also keep in mind, people don't just go to the airport for the sake of flying or for meeting people. They also make connections to other regional transit, and that's why everything is at Terminal 1. So like I said, all buses continue to directly serve Terminal 1. I would also relocate Route 906 to both terminals instead of Viscounts. I would also build the said light metro line with the station built 30 meters directly below Terminal 1. This would be very similar to the A2 branch of the REM, which is, of course, going to the airport. As I've heard, the station is actually being built 40 meters below the ground. The main reason is to limit walking time and make regional transit connections seamless with all routes at Terminal 1. It's just, the thing is, though, let's say the station were to be built underground, you have to take like a high speed elevator, and then you'd be directly inside the terminal. Then you'll have to take like another elevator or an escalator to the departures level. If you're going to Terminal 3, you have to take the Terminal Link train, so that would take even longer. Or you can just take the TGC 900 Airport Express bus or the 52A Lawrence West bus to the airport. Um, Again, leave your comments down below if you agree with me. You can also feel free to disagree with me as well, or even make your own ideas. But in my humble opinion, this is really what I have. I know it's not that much, but I think this is the best I can do. Part of this was inspired by RM Transit's concepts, where he would add a transit hub at Viscounts and make like different levels dedicated to different modes of transport, including taxis, rideshare, passenger rail, rapid transit, coach buses, and that sort of thing. But this is kind of like what I have so far. Don't judge me though. And let me tell you a little bit about the Etobicoke Light Metro if you're wondering what I'm talking about, or maybe if you're new here. Like I said, I made a separate video talking about that. This this line would essentially replace the 900 Airport Express bus, which even though it takes 20 minutes, it often gets stuck in traffic on the 427, and then it has to make the long journey to Terminal 1 and then eventually to Terminal 3. So we look here. This line would connect with the Line 2 Lord Danforth subway, Line 5 Eglinton LRT, and the Line 6 Finch West LRT. However, the only downside is, this line has two branches, and they split off after Martin Grove South Station. So if you're coming from Humber College, you have to take a train to Martin Grove South, and then you have to take another train to Pearson Airport. Now, like I said, that station could either be directly below Terminal 1 or at the new transit hub below Viscount Station. You have to take the link train. Um, it would make stops at Vernon Ford and Rapid Station, which are actually very low density neighborhoods. Martin Grove South Station would be important too because it would connect to Line 5, and of course the LRT would only go as far as Renfrew Station and not the airport because it's probably going to take at least 10-15 minutes to get from Renfrew to Pearson. That's just like even if they just make it elevated or underground, it's going to be quite a lot. But again, this would be very similar to the REM in Montreal, which already has um, two existing lines going to the suburbs, and then of course the aforementioned branch that's under construction that would be going to the Montreal Trudeau Airport as well. But in my opinion, even though this makes 4 stops, I think it would take at least 12 to 15 minutes. Right? It's a light metro. It's gonna be fast. So, um, if anything, I think this will be much faster than taking the 900 Airport Express bus. Of course, if you're heading to downtown Toronto, you can always make use of the express train. The only thing is, it takes 20 minutes. But if you're going to like Bloor West or Midtown Toronto or York, your best bet is to take the train is to take line 7, which is what I call it, to Martin Grove South and take the LRT eastbound. Again, the LRT is very fast right now. Or if you're going to Bloor, of course, go to Kipling Station. Or if you have other connections to make, you can also catch My Way buses there as well. Or you can even get off at Martin Grove and take it to Renfrew Station, where you can catch other My Way buses. But there's also other options as well. Also, if you're going from the airport to Humber College, you might as well keep the 906 bus operating, because I think people would prefer to take that instead of just taking the train to Martin Grove South and then having to, wait. My proposal for frequency is that it's 10 minutes per branch, so 5 minutes combined service between Kipling and Martin Grove South. So that's how I would look at it. And that's the end of the slideshow. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on this. Like I said, feel free to agree, feel free to disagree with me. I spent like almost like an hour and a half trying to rush through this because it is getting late. I'm gonna have a snack. I'm a little bit tired as well. And I still have some videos to edit from today that I filmed. So I'll try to have this up by tomorrow. If not, then Saturday. So guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. What do you think of my proposals? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below, or you can share your ideas with me as well. But for that being said, I'm done for now. I hope to make another discussing transit video soon if I can come up with other ideas, or maybe let me know what I should talk about. But there's also other channels you could watch too. Rail Documenter, OV Urbanity. Arm Transit, he doesn't really do YouTube videos anymore. He has like a blog post which I read sometimes, so you can check him out as well. Or you can watch other videos too from his channel before he took his hiatus from YouTube. So anyway, I'm done. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. Take care and peace out.